Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video.
Okay legends, welcome back to the channel with another Street Fighter Duel, this time on SEA with the release of two new characters that we'll be talking about. First of all, the characters are Fire Adon and Diviner Rose, and we'll be showcasing Fire Adon in this video and talking about him. First of all, before we start, I just want to say Fire Adon on SEA is massively nerfed, and he's right now the Wallmart version of our Fire Adon on global, or the Wish version if you can say. He's massively nerfed. Everything that he does, not everything, but the main things that he does is halved. So if you expect to do 5 billion damage on the same bosses events, on this like global with the same investment on your Fire Adon, you will not do that. You'll do the half. So if you do 5 billion on the global, you're gonna do 2.5 here on SEA. If you do 1 billion on global, you're gonna do 500 million on SEA. And by all means, this is not that bad. Actually, this is what is supposed to happen on global. This is what we are supposed to get on global, because on global, they made him so good that he's now can't be dropped. So if you're gonna go on global and check the results, check everything, he's used in many comps in many ways, and still on every boss. And even if they buffed the bosses, even if they nerfed his damages or the flame damages, he's still one of the best damage dealers, especially because of the release of Rich Honda and Flame Chun. With Flame Chun, he absolutely destroys, and he gives you the highest numbers. Now, I've done so many summons here, over 200 summons, and I still got one copy of him. Absolutely unlucky. Other people got luckier, which is great actually. I wish you all the luck. Now we're gonna talk about his skills. Nothing changed in his skills except the damages that the firewall does. It cut in half. So we'll be talking about that soon. So let's start with his passive first of all. So his passive, the Fire Leopard Beast. So gains Fire Leopard or FL mark for every 30 melee strikes when using combo 3. So it's with the combo 3 with his third skill, which is the most important skill for him. I'll be talking about all the other skills, but I will be mainly focusing and telling you that you need to use his C3. It's the best thing for him. So when using C3, each Fire Leopard mark unleashes a wall of fire. Up to 2 FL marks can be gained at once, and no more than 1 FL mark can be gained every 5 seconds. So he can gain up to 2, but every 5 seconds he can't gain more at the same time. So every 5 seconds you need to ramp his damages up, which is great. Reduces the number of attacks to 27, reduces the number of attacks to 24. So every 24 attacks you're gonna get Fire Leopard, and ranged strikes also counts as attacks, so you need to get the Fire Leopard mark. Great. Now let's talk about his super. So deals flame damage equal to 665% of attack to an enemy with a 50% chance to inflict burn. The inflict burn goes to 100%, and the damage increased to 765%, which is great actually. You can use his super. His super is not bad, but if you're playing, like, let's say in the Fire Tower, you can use the super of Viper, which is better actually for your run, and use his C3, which will help you a lot. Maybe his C2 also helps if you're using Dhalsim, because you want to start with Dhalsim, use his C2, then the C3 of Dhalsim. We'll be talking about his C2 right now. So his C2 is also an AoE, deal flame damage equal to 363% of attack to a single enemy, then kick out a fireball that deals damage equal to 184 or 48% of attack to an enemies in an area, which is an AoE, with 40% chance to inflict burn. Actually good. Each strike has 25% chance to inflict to place a stack of burn on the target. This is good. Now where does his C2 becomes great? The fireball has 100% chance of increasing flame damage by 15% for 10 seconds on the target. So when he hits the targets with the C2 with his fireball, he will increase the next C3 or the next combo or every next combo by 15% if it's flame. The flame damage by 15% for 10 seconds. It means this is why with Dhalsim, sometimes you're seeing us using him in story or in some areas or some scenarios in tower, that you use his C2 and then you use the C3 of Dhalsim to deal more output damage. Of course, with Fei Long being an assist, as fire damage, so you can increase your fire damages to 27%, something like that, which is absolutely great. Now his C3. Now we're gonna talk about the C3 and the changes. I have it up here on the screen, so I'll be putting them in comparison. So I'll put it like this, and you're gonna see here the other picture. So deal flame damage equal to 322% of attack to a single enemy, then create a wall of fire that deals flame damage equal to 92% of attack. 92%, half the damage of the firewall has gone away, because on global it's 184% of attack. 2 targets in an area for every 1.5 seconds, up for 4.5 seconds, which is great. Now his level 2, when the wall of fire deals damage to an enemy, there's a 20% chance to place a stack of burn on the target, which is the same actually. This is good, so it's consistent. Reduces the damage dealt by enemies inside the fire of wall by 15%, also the same, which is great actually for now. Now let's go and read his fighting spirit. So his fighting spirit, basically it's the same bonuses in HP, attack and defense and pressure, which you need a lot of attack, but they gave him 15% because he needs to survive longer, and he will be pretty much OP if he goes above the 15%. So if he goes like something like 20%, this 5% will increase the firewall damage. So increases wall of fire damage by to 106% of attack. This is crazy because on global it's 212%, so they cut it in half, the firewall damage. This is how it affected him. So you're gonna see a lot of drop in his damages or in his numbers. His assist is still good actually for fire comps, so you can play him as an assist for a unit that deals fire damage. So when the assisted fighter inflicts burn on an enemy, increase the assisted fighter attack by 10% of fire Adon attack for 15 seconds. Not the greatest, because you're gonna take from his attack, not a total base attack on your fighter. So that will be not that great, but it's still very much useful. Now, here where the changes come. So at +10, whenever the wall of fire deals damage, increase the attack, effect accuracy, and damage reduction by 0.75 instead of 1% for 8 seconds. Stacks up to 15% instead of 20% on global. So global had it to 1% up to 20%. You have it for 0.75% to 15%. That's a 5% lower to do damage reduction. Damage reduction is insane in this game. The more that you do damage reduction, the more that the bosses take damage, because it will allow them to go to negative area. With him, he will do damage reduction, but it will not be up to 20%, it's 15%. So now you see how much it affects that. Wall of fire now lasts 6 seconds, which is the same as global, which is absolutely great. Now at +30, whenever the wall of fire deals damage, increase the attack, effect accuracy, and damage reduction to 1.5 for 8 seconds, stacks up to 30%. Now, on global, it's 2.5 up to 50%. That's a 20% damage reduction got away from you. So this is what makes him balanced. I think if they need to do something on global, they need to give us Fire Adon the same way that they have them here on SEA. This is good for the game. This is good for the characters that you have. This is good for the new releases that you will have. This is good for the previous characters that you had on your normal characters. Well, except for for Dhalsim. On global Dhalsim now, if we have Fire Adon like this, he will be consistent with him. He will be a little bit competitive with him in the area of fire. But for SEA, Dhalsim is also nerfed, so it doesn't matter right now. So he's great. He's still a great unit for you, but not as great as what he was supposed to be. Now, his cars, so 3 out of 6. When an enemy unleashes a combo or a super combo inside the firewall, reduce their super combo gauge by 100 and reduce the healing that they receive by 50% for 5 seconds, which is absolutely great. This one will help you a lot in PvP. If you put the enemies in a firewall, they will reduce their gauge by 100. It means they will do less combos, and the healing that they receive, it will be reduced by 50%. So Elena would not fully heal your team comp by the end. Now, his 6 out of 6 is massively nerfed. This nerf will affect him so much because it will give you 8 stacks when you start a battle. So the fighter is considered to have already dealt 8 attacks upon entering the battle. And on global, it's 15 attacks. So it's 8 attacks. It's almost cut by half. So, or it is cut by half if you want to calculate it correctly. So 16 it will be on global, but they did it to 8 here. So 15 on global, 8 attacks here. So it will give you less fire leopard or leopard fire from the start of the battle. That will decrease his chances to deal even more damage, and it will take you more time to ramp up the damage combo so you can gain the marks so you can deal the damage. This is how he went right now. Now, is he bad? Not at all. Is he good? He's super good. He's still gonna be the best bossing unit on SEA as well, but he will cut his damages in half. It's shown in half. It's not gonna be even a little bit or 1 billion less. No, it's in half. Cut his damages in half. So he's still the best unit for bossing right now, even with Flame Chan and with the introduction of Rich Honda in the future for you on SEA. That will always help you. Now, what units that will do damage reduction that will help you instead of Rich Honda? You can use the C2 of B Zangief because he has damage reduction, or the C2 of Luke because it has damage reduction as well. And then you will gain yourself a little bit of combo. You can start with Leonardo. Leonardo does damage reduction with his super, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. And you can end up with his C3. So you will stack up even more damage reductions on the bosses. And then you will gain more damages until Rich Honda get released for you on SEA or Taos Gen at least, because they will help him a lot and massively. And yeah, that was it basically for Fire Adon. Is he good? Yes, he's absolutely great. Is he bossing unit? Yes. Can we use him in PvP? Absolutely yes, but in PvP he will deal less damage and he will need maybe more time to ramp up damages. So I will highly recommend to play something else better than him, unless you want to use his utility and you have a characters that does super and C2 like Akuma. You do super and C2 with Akuma, you do the C3 of Fire Adon. He will help for the enemy not to receive a lot of healing, and plus to decrease their combo meter, plus he will do a little bit of damage on the firewall, which will be absolutely helpful, also reducing their damage reduction, which will help you to kill them even better. And yeah, that was it for the video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fight, time to fight.